On Christmas morning, my daughter unwrapped a shiny red box and went completely still. Her face lost all color as she whispered, "Mommy, I'm scared." I looked inside expecting some creepy prank or broken toy. Instead, I froze. My breath caught in my throat. I recognized it immediately. It was Theo's. A toy no one should have, because Theo disappeared 6 months ago and never came back. That was the moment I realized someone in my own family knew what happened to him and never said a word. Christmas at my parents' house had always been chaos wrapped in tinsel. Too many people, too many voices, too many expectations. This year I told myself it would be fine. We'd fake the smiles for Maisie's sake, exchange gifts, eat overcooked ham, and go home. Easy. I didn't expect anything to actually happen, certainly not this. Maisie was 8. She had a mountain of presents around her, and for a moment I saw real joy on her face, the kind of joy we hadn't seen since Theo disappeared. She reached for a red foil box, medium-sized, neatly wrapped, and opened it carefully. She always opened presents that way, gentle, patient. Then she froze, her smile vanished, her hands shook slightly, her lips moved but made no sound. I was across the room, caught in the noise of half-laughed stories and jingling wine glasses. But I saw her. I saw how her whole body tensed like she was bracing for impact. She stood, walked toward me, box still open in her little arms, her eyes locked on mine. "Mommy, I'm scared," she whispered. "Just look, don't say anything." I looked. It was a toy plane. At first I didn't see it, but then I did. The crack on the wing, the scribble on the bottom Theo made with a red marker. My knees nearly gave out. We left quietly. I told everyone Maisie wasn't feeling well. We walked to the car. I buckled her in while my hands shook uncontrollably. She curled up in the back seat, knees to chest. I stared at the toy for 5 full minutes before I made the call. The police answered in under 10 seconds. We sat in the car in total silence, waiting for the police to arrive. Maisie didn't speak. She just kept her arms around her knees, eyes focused on the dashboard like she didn't want to see the toy again. I wanted to reach back and hold her, but I couldn't move. My fingers were locked around the box like it might disappear if I let go. The house behind us was still lit up like a Christmas card. Laughter floated out through the front door, but it felt like it belonged to a different world, one I wasn't a part of anymore. 15 minutes later, a cruiser pulled up to the curb. The officer walked up slowly, like he'd just come to check on a noise complaint. His voice was low and careful. "Ma'am, did you make a call about a suspicious gift?" I nodded and held out the box. He looked inside, then at me. "What makes you think this is related to the missing child?" "He's my son," I said, my voice dry. "That's his toy. The crack in the wing, he made that the morning he disappeared, and the red mark underneath, that's his handwriting." The officer's expression didn't change, but he asked for the tag. It was folded under the lid. In careful 10-year-old handwriting, it said, "To Maisie from Sadie. Sadie, Lindsey's daughter." The officer looked up. "Is Sadie here right now?" I pointed toward the house. What followed felt like a dream slipping into a nightmare. The officer asked to speak with Lindsey and Sadie privately. They stepped into the den. My parents were confused. My mom flitted around asking if everything was okay. My dad poured another drink. Lindsey looked too calm. That's what chilled me most. When they came back out, the officer said, Sadie told them she found the toy in the house and thought Maisie would like it. Lindsey backed her up. "We've got toys everywhere," she said with a soft smile. "Could have been here for years. I thought it was sweet of her to give something." Owen arrived during the last few minutes. He stood beside me, silent. When the officer held up the toy and said, "We'll follow up," I felt the air thicken. The party never recovered. Later, we stood in the kitchen, Owen leaning against the counter, me sitting like my bones had turned to dust. "That was Theo's," I whispered. He nodded once, no doubt, but that means, yeah. I finished the thought for both of us. It means he might be alive. That realization landed like a bolt to the heart. Hope, terror, guilt, all at once. I don't remember walking down the hallway. My legs moved, but everything felt disconnected, like I was floating just outside my own body. The house had gone quiet, not completely silent, but that awkward hush that settles when people know something bad might be happening, and they're afraid to ask. We found Lindsay in the sunroom scrolling through her phone like nothing had happened. She looked up and smiled like we were just stopping by to say hi. "Hey," she said, everything settled now. I didn't smile back. Owen didn't even blink. We need to talk, I said, my voice low and flat. She raised her eyebrows. About what? That toy. The one Sadie gave Maisie. She set her phone down carefully, crossing her legs. I already told the police Sadie found it in the house. It's probably something from years ago. Could have belonged to anyone. Owen stepped forward. It didn't belong to anyone. It belonged to my son. She blinked. You can't be sure we are. I cut in. Maisie remembers it. I remember it. Owen remembers it. He never went to your house, Lindsey. So how did his toy end up here? Her lips parted slightly, then pulled into a tight smile. I don't know. Maybe he came over once. You forgot. Kids lose things all the time. No, Owen said. We didn't forget. Lindsay's expression faltered. Why are you doing this? She asked, her voice tightening. Because the police are going to come back, I said. They're going to trace where the toy came from. And when they find out what you did, you won't get to explain it to us first. For a moment, she didn't say anything. Her face turned pale. She looked at Owen, then me, then the floor. Her throat moved like she was trying to swallow something too sharp. Please don't tell them, she whispered. Then tell us, I said. Right now. She hesitated, eyes glistening. Her voice cracked. It was Theo's mom. She called me months ago. My heart dropped. She said she just wanted to see him. Just one visit. Said she missed him so much. Lindsay was shaken now, but I couldn't find sympathy. She offered me money. I didn't ask for it, I swear. But I was behind on bills, and you said you wouldn't help me anymore. I just thought it'd be quick, 1 hour. That's what she said. Owen's fists clenched. She said she'd bring him right back, but then she didn't. I tried calling, nothing, and then I just stopped. I stared at her, at this woman who was supposed to be my sister. You let us think he was dead, I said. Lindsay sobbed. I didn't know what else to do. I didn't answer. I just walked out. Owen followed. His face was stone. That night, we drove straight to the police station. At the police station, I told them everything. My hands trembled as I recounted Lindsay's words, how she arranged the meeting, took the money, kept it quiet for 6 months. I told them about the toy, the silence, the lie. Owen didn't say much. He just nodded, confirming details, jaw tight like he was holding in a scream. The officers didn't look shocked, just tired. One of them jotted everything down in a worn notebook. Another kept glancing at the box of tissues on the desk like they were deciding whether to offer it or not. When we finished, the older officer said, "Thank you. We'll handle it from here." That phrase hung in the air like dust. We'll handle it. Like they could fix this, like anything could. Lindsay was arrested the next morning. Obstruction, endangerment. They said more charges might follow depending on what they found. I didn't answer when she called. Owen didn't even look at the phone. Our house felt like a ghost town. We didn't turn on music. We didn't touch the Christmas decorations. Maisie stopped asking about Theo. She just sat by the window, sometimes staring out like she was waiting for him to come home. Then the phone rang. I picked it up without checking the ID. That was my mistake. How could you do this to your sister? My mother snapped. No, hello. No pause. Just venom straight out of the gate. Excuse me, I said, stunned. Calling the police on your own family. You humiliated her. You destroyed everything. I couldn't believe it. Mom, she let Theo be taken. She knew, for months. She made a mistake, my mother hissed. She just wanted to help. And he's not even really your son. He has a mother. Maybe that's where he belongs. I couldn't breathe. Owen walked into the room just sad as I hung up. He didn't ask what she said. Maybe he already knew. 3 days later, the police called. They'd found her Amanda Collins, Theo's biological mother, living under a fake name in Arkansas. She'd been hiding in a small rental home on the edge of a forest preserve. She's in custody, the officer said, and Theo, he's alive. My knees buckled. Owen caught me before I hit the floor. They arranged a video call for the next morning. Not ideal, but we didn't care. We would have taken a blurry photo or a 2-second voicemail, anything. At the precinct, they brought us into a private room. A laptop sat on a plain metal desk. A tech guy clicked through settings like this was any normal Tuesday. Then the screen flickered, and Theo appeared. His face was older, his hair longer. His eyes a little dull, but it was him. He stared at us uncertain, and then softly he spoke. She told me you didn't want me anymore. My breath caught. She told me you didn't want me anymore. Theo repeated, voice barely above a whisper. She said you told her to come get me, that you were tired of me. I couldn't speak. My throat closed up like my whole body rejected the words. Owen sat beside me, frozen. No, I finally whispered. That's not true. We never stopped looking for you. Owen leaned in slightly. You're ours, he said quietly but firmly. Always. Theo looked down, fiddling with the sleeve of his oversized hoodie. The silence dragged until he looked back up. His voice shook. I didn't believe her. Not at first, but she said it over and over. And when you didn't come, I didn't know what to think. Tears blurred my vision. You know now, I said. He nodded. Just once, but it was enough. A voice from off-screen said we had to wrap up. The officer gently placed his hand on the laptop lid, ready to shut it. We're coming to get you, Owen said before they cut the feed. Theo didn't smile, but he didn't look afraid anymore either. Okay, he said. I'll be here. The screen went black. I collapsed back into the chair and covered my face. For the first time in 6 months, I cried. Not from despair, but from release. Theo was alive. The next few days were a blur. Legal paperwork, logistics, travel coordination. Every hour stretched like an eternity. Maisie kept asking when we'd leave. She'd packed and repacked her stuffed animals 3 times. When Thursday came, we waited at the station platform, hearts thudding in sync. And then he appeared. He stepped off the train slowly with a state caseworker beside him and a small worn duffel bag in his hand. His eyes scanned the crowd until they landed on us, Mio and Maisie, standing just behind the yellow line. Maisie bolted first. She flew across the platform, arms outstretched. Theo, he dropped the bag and caught her mid-run. For a second, they just held each other like the world had stopped spinning. I walked up slower. My heart was pounding. He looked at me uncertain. I dropped to my knees, tears already threatening. Hi, sweetheart, I whispered. He didn't speak, just stepped forward and buried his face in my coat. Owen didn't move, but when I looked up, his eyes were wet. That was the moment we got him back. That night, we all slept in the same room. Theo didn't want to be alone. Maisie refused to leave his side. I stayed awake watching them breathe. It wasn't over. It would never be over. But we were no longer lost. We were together. The first week home was harder than I expected. Theo barely spoke. He flinched every time a door closed too quickly or a voice raised even slightly. He didn't eat much, didn't smile. He slept with the light on and Maisie's hand wrapped tightly around his. Owen was patient, quiet but always nearby. He sat with Theo during therapy sessions even when Theo didn't want to talk. I made his favorite meals, put on his old cartoons, even found the mismatched pajamas he used to wear just to show him this was still his home. Maisie was our little anchor. She never left his side. If he went outside, she followed. If he stared at the wall, she'd sit beside him and color without saying a word. I caught her whispering to him once, "You're not going anywhere ever again, okay?" Theo didn't answer, but he didn't move away either. We enrolled him in therapy right away. The counselor told us not to push, to let him open up on his own. That some wounds speak loudest in silence. One night I walked past his room and stopped. The door was open a crack. Inside, Theo and Maisie were sitting cross-legged on the floor, coloring together under the dim light of a desk lamp. No words, just crayons. Calm. I leaned against the doorway and watched them for a while. Theo looked up and caught my eye. He held up his drawing, a bright red pizza slice with cartoon eyes and legs. "Can we get pizza tomorrow?" he asked. It was the first full sentence he'd said in days. I nodded, smiling through tears. Of course. Later that night, Owen found a letter in the mail. It was from Lindsey. I didn't read it. Owen walked out to the fire pit in the backyard and burned it. No words, no ceremony, just quiet smoke curling into the dark sky. Lindsey had taken a plea deal, 18 months in county jail, 3 years of probation, and a court order preventing her from working with children ever again. The judge didn't mince words. "You prioritize money over a child's safety," she said. "That's not a mistake. That's a decision." I didn't attend the sentencing. I didn't need to. Amanda Theo's biological mother was charged too. Custodial interference, endangerment, fraud. Her defense lawyer pushed for leniency, claiming she was mentally unwell and emotionally desperate. She got 4 years. She cried in court, said she missed her son, said she didn't mean to hurt him. No one clapped. No one comforted her. My parents still refused to believe Lindsey did anything wrong. She was desperate, my mom told me in one final phone call. You made it worse by going to the police. Megan is your sister. No, I said. She used to be. And then I blocked their number. For good. It's been over a year now. We still carry the scars, but they don't bleed anymore. Theo laughs again, not the nervous kind he used to fake to keep us from worrying, but real belly-deep laughter, the kind that makes you stop whatever you're doing just to watch. It happened last week. Maisie tried to use a spoon as a catapult to launch ketchup onto her plate. It failed spectacularly. Ketchup landed on her forehead, the wall, even the dog. For a split second, I braced myself, worried Theo might flinch or shut down, but he didn't. He burst out laughing, a loud, unfiltered snort at the end kind of laugh. Owen and I locked eyes. We didn't say a word. We didn't need to. That was our miracle. Theo's still in therapy, still sleeps with the light on some nights, still doesn't like being hugged unless he initiates it. But he draws now bright, vivid comic books filled with heroes and impossible worlds. He eats pepperoni pizza every Friday. He started learning the guitar, slowly but with that same quiet determination he's always had. Sometimes he calls me Mom without thinking about it. I never correct him. Maisie's become his shadow, his shield, his second heartbeat. She still holds his hand when they cross the street, still checks to make sure he's okay during the loud movies. They argue now and then like normal siblings, but they're closer than ever. Owen's softer these days, less armored. I catch him watching the kids with a look that's equal parts relief and ache. I think he's still grieving what could have happened, what almost did. As for me, I've stopped apologizing for choosing my own family over the one I was born into. I haven't spoken to my parents since that last call. They sent a card for Theo's birthday. I threw it out without opening it. Lindsey wrote another letter from jail. This one addressed to Maisie. We reported it. The judge reinforced the no contact order. I don't regret anything, not one call, not one confrontation, not even walking away from my own blood. Because blood isn't loyalty, it's not love, it's just biology. Love is who shows up, love is who stays. Today, Theo and Maisie are in the backyard. She's trying to teach him cartwheels and failing spectacularly. He's pretending she's doing great anyway. Owen's sitting beside me on the porch reading, but clearly listening. The sun's setting, the wind is warm, the world feels safe finally. Everything isn't perfect, it probably never will be. But it's ours, and we're home. I used to believe that family meant forever no matter what. But now I know better. Family is who protects you when it matters, who tells the truth even when it's hard, who chooses love over silence. My sister broke something in us I can't repair. My parents chose her side, even when it meant defending betrayal. And yet I don't feel bitter. I feel free. Because Theo came back. He's healing. We all are. If I had to do it all over again, reporting Lindsey, walking away from my parents, risking the peace, I would. 100 times. You don't get to gamble with a child's safety and call it love. So now I ask you, what would you do if your own sister handed your child to a stranger and stayed silent for 6 months? Would you forgive her? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious. And if this story reached you, if it made you feel something, please like, subscribe, and share. Someone out there might need to hear it. Thank you for listening.